వీడియోను ఆడియో ఆఫ్ చేయమ్మా కొంచెము. Everyone mute your microphone and then turn off your camera.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Priyanka from Fernandez Child Development Center, and today we are conducting a webinar for parents and everybody to understand problem behaviors and its management in children dealing with autism. So I hand over to Dr. Madhavi. Let's start the session.
Shall we start? I think there are few more participants to come. Shall we start?
Yes, Madhavi, please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, my dear parents and my colleagues. Hope you are all doing fine. I'm Dr. Madhavi, licensed clinical psychologist, speech therapist, and special educator from Fernandez Child Development Center, Hyderabad. This webinar is specially designed for the parents on understanding problem behaviors and its management through play therapy by enhancing their communication skills, social skills. So I welcome you all to this webinar. And if you have any queries, we will discuss at the end of the session. You please type your questions in chat box. Few of them will be trying to answer. Yeah. And yeah. Now we are going to start with the session. Now I'm going to talk about problem behaviors and its and play therapy and improving your communication and socialization skills. Okay. So this is the overview of what I am talking about today. I'll be talking a little bit about the core deficits of autistic children, the behavior and behavior problems, the reasons for problem behaviors, common problem behaviors, and challenging behaviors during this lockdown period, intervention like child-centered intervention and family-centered intervention, and implementation. These are the core symptoms of autism spectrum disorder. The children with autism will be having deficits in these three areas, that is communication, socialization skills, and behavioral and cognitive stereotypic skills. So we'll be covering all these three areas. And this is a DSM-5 criteria for diagnosis of autism. It shows the three core symptoms. I'm not going in detail into this slide. Just I wanted to show you this. That's it. Yeah. Now, what is behavior? Behavior is an activity in response to external or internal stimuli, and that is observable and measurable. Every one of us can observe our behavior, and also we can measure it. Can you please mute your microphones, please?
Your slides are not moving, ma'am. Your slides are still.
No, here I think I'm, yeah, this. 1 minute, please.
Participants, please switch off your videos and mute your microphones. Thank you.
I think they are not able to. Yeah. Now, can you see? Yeah.
Yes, now it is working, ma'am. Now it is working. Now it's okay. You can restart, please, ma'am.
Okay.
You can please restart.
So these are the core symptoms of autism. The deficits are in this three areas, which I spoke about. Yeah. I think again, yeah, this is the DSM-5 criteria for diagnosing autism. I'm not going in detail about that slide. And this is what I was speaking. Behavior is an activity in response to external or internal stimuli. Wait a minute. Can you please switch off your videos and then microphones, please? Yeah. Adaptive behavior is considered as a behavior that facilitates the individual to interact more efficiently with his or her environment. And behavior is a type of communication. Every one of us communicate through our behavior. Few researchers, it is proved that communication, like verbal communication, is only 7% when we are communicating. Body language is the major part which plays a major role. Yeah, all behaviors occur for a reason. There will be a reason for each and every behavior. Hello, can you please mute your microphone? His slides are getting stuck. Yeah. Now coming to what are behavior problems. Usually parents come and complain that my child is not doing this, not doing that. So each and every time they come with some or the other problem. So the behaviors are considered problematic when they meet only these criteria. Not all behaviors are problematic. When the behaviors are danger to self and others, when the behaviors are inappropriate for his age and developmental level of the child, the behaviors when they interfere in the learning of the child, when the behaviors cause unreasonable stress to the family members or others, when behaviors are socially deviant. if the problem behaviors occur very frequently. If you meet any one of this criteria, then only it is said as that there is a problem behavior. Otherwise, no. And reasons being for problem behaviors is attention-seeking factors, escape from the task. If the child doesn't have the, doesn't want to do that particular task, he may indulge in different type of behaviors. Can you hear me? There is a message that few of them are not able to hear. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
Not hear me. Okay. And attention seeking, when the child needs your attention, they may indulge in problem behaviors. So we have to know the reason for that particular problem behavior. Lack of communication skills. When the child has deficits in communication, he cannot express what he wants. So then also he might indulge in problem behaviors. Skill deficit factors. If you give any activity to the child and if the child cannot perform that particular activity, he is not able to do, his skills are not up to that mark, then also he may indulge in self-injury, some type of behaviors. And some are self-stimulatory and sensory fulfilling behaviors that will be handled by the occupational therapist. We have to see for sensory issues. Are there any sensory processing difficulties for the child? And then tangible rewards, tangible factors. If the child wants something, if he wants a chocolate or something, then also he may indulge in these type of behaviors. Our needs are masked by our behaviors. See, every behavior has some reason behind it. So all the needs are masked by the behavior of the children. They have deficits in communication, socialization skills, so the behaviors. And it got stuck. Yeah. Common problem behaviors are violent and destructive behaviors like hitting others, pulling help. They may be hitting others or themselves, or they may be pulling hair of others, or their self hair and then pinching, throwing objects, using abusive language, shouting and screaming. All these behaviors come under violent and destructive behavior. That is because of lack of communication skills. It may be because of lack of communication skills or deficits. Escape, when they want to escape from the task. All the reasons may be the reason for this violent and destructive behaviors. And overactivity and hyperactivity is also a problem because it will interfere in their learning. So when the behaviors interfere in their learning, then also it is called as a problem behavior. Self-injurious behavior like harming themselves or hitting others is also a problem behavior. Some of the challenges faced by the parents in the lockdown period is disruption from the daily routines, sleep disturbances, aggression, throwing tantrums, and regression of learned skills. These are common problems faced during this lockdown, as many of our parents who are attending the sessions were focusing on this particular issues. Like disruption from daily routines is because there is no need for them to go out. Even parents are leaving them for, thinking that we can go slow. Then sleep disturbances, like they're either sleeping in the afternoon or they are indulging in some other activities that is leading to sleep disturbances. When the sleep is deprived, they may throw tantrums, they may be aggressive next day when they, the next day, and regression of learned skills was also observed. Some of the parents were telling that the child has gone back and he is not doing any activities which he was doing. So it may be, sometimes it may be because of disruption in the daily activities, or the child is allowed to do whatever he likes in the beginning. He has learned that behavior. Interventions may be child-centered intervention and family-centered intervention, because now all the family members are together. It is the time for us to handle all together, like intervene in the child's program all together. So now when we are focusing on child-centered intervention, try to focus on the strengths. Usually the parents complain, my child is not doing this, not doing that. We are never, we are never trying to focus on the strengths which the child has. So we need to focus on the strengths of the child and use that in our intervention. The areas to be focused, even we need to make a note of the areas where what we need to focus. And when we are dealing with a child who has a mental age of 3 years or 4 years, we need to go to their age level instead of thinking that my child is already 12 years and then I want to start from that age. We need to go to their age level and start what he is interested in, so we can connect with our child. We always need to do that. Most of us, what we think is, as parents, he is already 12 years old and I am 40 years old. How can I, but his mental age may be around 3 years. So how can I go and play with him? But in order to connect with our child, we need to go to that level. We have to be a child with them. We are only 3 or 4 years along with our child. So go and connect with your child. Connect with your child by imitating his behaviors. Just imitate his behaviors in the beginning. We usually do is we give the activities which we want to do, we want them to do, instead of following their initiative. He may be not interested in that particular activity. So what we can do is, if the child is interested in one particular activity, we need to go to that level and then start. So we have to start with what the child initiates in order to connect and build up relation between us. Then only we can connect with him and then slowly bring him to the other activities. Now I'll be talking about play therapy, cognitive behavior management activities to improve the attention, concentration, and sitting tolerance of the child. Improving verbal and non-verbal communication, which are receptive and expressive again, and then I'll be sharing few sensory activities. See, what is play therapy and how do we connect with the child? We might set a number of toys, like I'm giving an example how to connect with your child, and place all the toys together and then see which toy your child picks up. If he picks up a train or some other toy, it may be a car or a train, anything. And then if you have the same type of toy, try to take and then try to start imitating your child. Your child may be playing meaninglessly, just moving like up and down. So what you need to do, you just go and then bring that toy in front of that, so that your child may show he may just look at you, or he may try to vocalize So you need to connect like that. Then you get the connection what you want. Your child will look at you, what mama is doing, what daddy is doing. That is the way you need to connect with your child. He may connect with you verbally or non-verbally. Even he looks at you is also fine. You got the connection there. Then try to improve that connection again and again. Pretend play and symbolic play also is a better thing which involves in a lot of imagination and imitation. And if your child has issues with some sensory issues or language, he cannot communicate, you want to teach some concept to your child, you can start with your toys, some symbolic or pretend play. Take a toy and then start doing with that. If you want to train your child in bathing, taking bath and all, you can start with a toy. Take a toy and then start giving bath to that in a playway manner that you have to narrate whatever is doing. You give a running commentary in a very simple sentences which he can understand. And it should be like repetition. One day you do that, one day you stop, it may not help. So once it is like when you're doing continuously again and again, then it becomes like a habit. The child will learn that when there is a lot of repetition. And play therapy focuses on development of speech and language, development of social skills, interpersonal skills, reciprocal skills like sharing, turn taking, and imaginative skills. It will also help the child to understand or learn more about their emotions, communicate better with others, problem solving skills, deal with their own behavioral issues, and then develop coping mechanism. Now, these are the strategies for development of communication. Communication will be receptive and expressive. Both ways we need to develop their language. Before the child learns to speak, he has to get lot of receptive language. He has to understand, comprehend, process what we are talking. So for that, we need to address the child's name, like call him with his name. Everybody in the family, everyone will be called by their name so that he will understand this person's name is this. Use clear, precise language, very short sentences. Use the sentences which they can understand, and it should be very simple. Talk to the child in simple sentences about the situation, whatever might be the situation. If you're giving food to your child, talk about that. If your child is playing, you talk about that. If your child is taking bath, talk about that. And it should be continuous. Every time you give skill, the child learns that particular skill, you have to repeat again and again. Create a need for your child to speak. I've seen many of them, like not only they, even me when my children were young. What we do is we give everything before they ask. We are not giving the need for the child to speak. So what we have to do is we have to create a need for the child to communicate. It may be verbal or it may be a non-verbal communication. Just initiate your child to speak. Allow time to process and think. When we start asking something, give them a little bit of time to think, process, and then understand what we ask, and then let them respond. What we usually do is we repeat the same sentence again and again, and then we may comment something which will go bad. Right? So be dramatic and playful. Always be playful. Like whatever you're teaching, he may be 12 years, 13 years, but his mental age may be 3 years, 4 years. So 3 years, 4 years child will learn more when it is playful. Just instructions will not help. Be firm and consistent while giving instructions. So when you tell this is the thing you need to do, and it should be firm. If a family has 6 family members and mother says this is the way you need to follow it, this is the thing you need to do, and mother is firm, father is not firm, then what the child does, he immediately goes to father, or he looks for alternatives, he goes to some other person who accepts everything. So then what you need to do is, you have all the family members should be on the same thing, they should be firm and consistent while giving training to their child. Give alternate ways to communicate. If your child is not communicating verbally, or she cannot have, even gestures, non-verbal, she is not able to do, and give alternatives like give a picture card. You can use pictures, visual, these type of visual cards and all, sites and all. Use visual communication strategies as well as speech. It doesn't mean that when we are giving visual strategies, we are not supposed to talk. Even then we have to talk, we have to explain what is that. Use visual sequences for daily routine. Say now disruption of daily activities, which is the problem right now. We need to use this in order to overcome that. Daily morning, the child we have to give a schedule with visual sequencing. Morning, this is the time you wake up. After that, you are going to brush. Everything till he sleeps should be given to the child. Choose the time and day when your child is most happy and relaxed to focus on language activities. So these are the things we need to follow when we are when we are training them in communication skills. Now, activities for cognitive development. Sing rhymes along with your child. In the beginning, we will be singing the rhyme for the child with actions. Then the child may start imitating us, maybe by actions, or later on humming the rhyme. Then later on he comes to single word now and then he'll start, and then when we start he has to finish the rhyme. So it is a sequence of development. Start for singing for the child in the beginning. The rhythm and all also tries to soothe the sensations, sensory issues of few children. So we need to see for sensory issues, and then slowly we have to promote each one by one. Identification of noises and horns and cooker whistle. Slow by slow, slowly we have to introduce one by one. If the child is very sensitive to sounds, we will not directly give that sound and then explain. We will slowly desensitize that sensation and then introduce to that situation. Like if the when we are introducing cooker whistle, the child may be in the other room. And then when there is a cooker whistle, you need to tell, see, now I heard some sound. That is the sound of a cooker. Then slowly take him to that place and then do the sound. So it should be systematic, not right. Now practice alphabets and counting shapes and colors. Most of the parents, what they say is, can you mute your microphones, please?
Right.
The practice of alphabets, counting shapes, colors, improves attention and concentration. Here, hello. So for this alphabet practice, alphabets, counting, shapes, colors, and all, which improves our attention and concentration, we can try different creative ways where we will be writing alphabets if you have a open place, you can write alphabets here and there, jumble, not in a sequence. And then we can ask the child to match the alphabet. If you have a alphabet, miniatures, you can give it to them and then ask the child to go and match with that particular letter on the floor. And you can ask the child to pick up randomly. You can tell one letter and ask the child to pick up one miniature of alphabet and then give it to you. You can also do shapes, shapes and colors. You can ask them to define what it is. You can also, when you're teaching your child about color, concept of colors, you can introduce one color at a time. Once he learns particular one, first supposing you start with red, if the child learns that particular red, he is able to identify that, then you can ask the child to, we have to generalize each and every concept which we teach the child. So once the child learns the concept red color, he knows that perfectly, then you can ask the child to pick up all the red color objects or point at all the red color objects which are there in your house, so that that particular concept will become generalized. We have to see that all which we teach the child has to be generalized and it has to be used in his daily life. Without that, only teaching the concept may not serve the purpose. We want our child to be independent. So we have to see that whatever we teach, it is going to generalize in his daily life. Now offer choices which makes the child feel independent and he will learn confident decision making in future life. If you're going to a party, you can give 2-3 dresses to your child and ask him to pick up one particular dress which he wants to wear for that day. So that will make him very confident while taking decisions in future. Play with everyday items. Everyday items are like at home also. Now you're being at home, you can do with daily objects, like daily items, what we use in kitchen, all those things, and make it fun. And these are very cost effective. So you make it should be like, we should be very creative in using these items, and offer games like blocks, and then ask them, you can, in the beginning, what you can do is you can do some other pattern which the child cannot do. If the child is putting the blocks in a line, you try to do a different thing so that the child will get connected to you, and then he will see what you're doing. He will learn different activities, like he will be creative in the skills. He will try to create some other pattern for you, and this promotes the problem solving skills in his future life. We should be very creative while doing this. And peekaboo also, we can start with toddlers, and with adults we can start with hide and seek. So when the child hides, he has to think where he is, he has to search, so his problem solving skills, creative skills will improve. Activities to develop social skill development is turn taking games. You can now, all that your family members are all together, you can sit in a circle, and then one by one you will be passing on to the other members. So he has to wait till he gets his chance. And name game, you have to call his name and then pass on the object, so that he will learn the who is who. He will know his name. He will try to interact with others. Hide and seek, imaginative play, and puppet play. This will improve their social skills, because there will be number of people in the group. He will try to interact with them. His communication skills will increase. He will try to communicate in any way, like verbal or non-verbal. Anything is okay. These are few sensory activities which you can try at home. If the child is very sensitive, you can take do such type of activities, like you can take a balloon, different color balloons, and then in one you will be putting flour, rice, sand, all things. The child will be given a chance to feel that, and then later on we will put in the balloons and then ask him to feel, and then they will be matching. They will feel and match, which will uh, be like a sensory activity to the child. Now, this is one more thing. If the child is sensitive to touch, you can give a different type of pebbles and then ask him to feel. Here, we can desensitize by slowly introducing the child to different type of sounds, smell, different smells, like one by one, like in a graduated manner. Like directly, we are not forcing the child to smell or to hear the sounds, because he has sensory issues, processing issues. So this sensitization must be done. We have to introduce the child to each and every senses very slowly, gradually, till he loses that sensitivity. And now family plays a major role in intervention of the child. Now that family is together, we can plan activities which will work, which all the family members will be working together. Family participation in the intervention of the child. Work sharing, from mother may be busy or father may be busy. So there should be sharing of work between family members. If mother is busy, father may take father may make the child do some activities, and modeling, role play plays a very important role. Every behavior can be modeled. The child learns very well by modeling. Whatever behaviors we want to teach in our child, we want to get in our child, we have to do modeling. If we are screaming at home, if we are indulging in some violent, destructive behaviors, the child will learn the same. So what we want to teach our child, what we want to model in our child should be practiced by the family members. Role plays, whatever we want to teach, we have to play a role so that the child will observe and then slowly start doing that. Involve your child in household chores as far as, to the possible extent. Like nowadays, mother may be busy, the maids are not coming, mother has to do all the work, and then this is the time for us to teach the child all these household chores. If possible, till the possible level, we can ask them to take a glass of water.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Hello. So
Please
involve
continue,
the
Madhu.
child, involve the child in all the household chores, because that will help the child to be engaged meaningfully. If we are busy, father is busy in work, mother is busy in her work, and other siblings are busy in their own work, this child may not, he may throw tantrums, or all the skills which he has learned may get regressed. So try to engage the child. So if mother is alone, is going to take care of the child, mother will take the child to whatever activity she is doing, she will take the help of the child, so that he will be indulged in a meaningful activity, which will help him in future. Play a game with the child. So parents have to become children at that point. When they start interacting with the child gets connected. So then the meaningful, the relation will build up, and then slowly we can take the child to the other level. In the beginning, we need to go to their level and then start the activities. Engage the child in meaningful activities. Now, this is for family members. Most of the family members are very stressed out to this due to this situation. So, as all the family members may start relaxation techniques because they are very anxious, they are very depressed, they are very stressed. We don't know what's going to happen next moment. It is like that. So they can start with relaxation techniques. So if one thing I want to tell you is when we are very stressed or anxious, we will be not in a position to handle our other duties as a parent or a family member. So first we need to help ourselves to overcome that. We should be very sound so that we can help our family members. For that, you can practice relaxation techniques, mindfulness is nothing but be in present. We are always thinking about past or future. We are never in the present. So try to be in the present. Do what you are supposed to be doing at that point of time. Then we may not regret after that. So please be in present. What you're supposed to do at this point of time. Take precautions when you're going out, go with mask and all. All these precautions, I'm not going in detail about that. So be in the present, do what you're supposed to do. Practice meditation, yoga, breathing exercises that will relieve your stress. Now we have seen the techniques which will improve our social skills, communication skills, play therapy and all. Just learning about that is not enough. We need to implement in our daily life. See, implementation, when we want to implement, if we think that, yeah, I will implement tomorrow, day after tomorrow, it will go on like that. So make a daily schedule and stick on to that. Only making a schedule will not help us. We have to stick on to that particular schedule. That schedule will include each and everything. Like morning you will be waking up, at what time you will be waking up, then at what time you will sleep, go to bed. So each and every activity will be on the schedule, and then you will start implementing. Just making a schedule also will not help you. You have to start doing that. Share your duties. Reward your child with strong reinforcers such that his desired behaviors will increase, and obviously when desired behaviors increase, the undesired behaviors will decrease. And these are few of the rewards. So when the child indulges in a desired behavior, just reward him. It may be small rewards, like it may be a primary reward like food items, social rewards. First, we need to select whatever the child likes most. Then it may be social reward. Some children like to be praised. Some like to be given stars on the hands. So patting them, giving claps, saying wow will help them. And we can also choose material rewards. Few children may like to play with particular toy, and also some photos. Activity rewards such as listening to songs, arts and crafts. Even this we can give the child. And assets of the child. We need to first find out these assets of the child, which we will be using as bricks for building the other behaviors. And points to remember are behavior is nothing but the communication. Every behavior has some underlying cause. We have to know why that behavior. Why that behavior, with whom that behavior. Sometimes parents keep on saying that that behavior is only with me. He is very fine with father. He is very fine with his grandmother. Then we need to know why that behavior, when that behavior, and based on that, when, why, and all, we can start using different techniques, strategies for that, which I am not going in detail now. Give alternate ways for communication. If the child is not able to communicate verbally, teach him gestures, non-verbal communication, even that will serve the purpose. Instead of throwing tantrums and all. Look for sensory issues. If the child has sensory issues, that has to be addressed. Keep your expectations reasonable. So I've seen few parents that the child is only 3 years, they want their child to become a doctor or something. First, be in present, be mindful, practice mindfulness, be in the present. Yeah, in future he may become anything, but we are not sure. But anticipating something may happen next day, and then we are not being in present, and we are not doing what we are supposed to do at present. So keep your expectations reasonable. Help your child in between, because few children are not ready to go for next activity. So we need to give some time for the child to get transition, to change to the next activity. Try to focus on the strengths of the child rather than weaknesses of the child. Most of us only talk about the weaknesses. So once we are focusing on the strengths and motivating the child, yes, he can go into the other level. Be firm and consistent on what you're doing. Involve the child in household chores to the possible extent. Share your duties. Family members have to share their duties right now. Give a structure to the day. Create a sensory safe places. If the children are very sensitive, just create a sensory, for children who have self-injurious behavior, for them, we need to create a safe, sensory safe place. Try to manage your stress by relaxation techniques. Stay in contact with family, friends on mobile, because now this present situation, we cannot go out and talk. We need time for us also. So try to contact your close friends and then be fit, keep fit. And if you have any queries, you can please contact at this. We are giving our mail ID. You can post your queries here. If you have any doubts, please, you can type on them. Any doubts or any questions, please?
Hello. Hello, ma'am. My name is Jagan, ma'am.
Yeah.
We have been working with our son, madam. He's 8.5 years old.
Okay.
So we have been working for last 5 years, madam, almost 5 years. So
Okay.
we have been seeing the improvements slowly. But still, the sensory issue, not sensory issues, madam. Some behaviors are there. I cannot say that they are sensory issues, but behaviors are there. Still, they are not vanishing. So,
Can you
what is the best?
behavior in particular?
Particularly, two main behaviors, madam. One is flapping, madam.
Flapping.
One is flapping hand. Another one is that is not sitting at one place, madam, moving from one place to other place. These two things are not vanishing. Rest all things are slowly coming and they are vanishing. Also progressing. The way his cognitive levels are increasing. That I am able to understand. The thing is that because of these two behaviors, he is okay with whatever the way he is coping. So,
Then, like you are telling that he is flapping. Is it always or sometimes?
it is.
What happens before that behavior, and then why the? What is? ABC we say: antecedent, behavior, and consequence. If the child starts flapping, what happened before that? 30 seconds before that, we have to record. And when he stops, after what he stopped that? we have to do that assessment. Is he doing always, or sometimes what happens is it may be a sensory issue, or sometimes what happens is when he is not given any meaningful activity, when he is left like that, he may be doing that to regulate his sensory issues.
Oh, okay, okay. Correct, madam. It looks like second one. I mean, partly first and mostly second, madam. Because when he is doing some work, this behavior I am not observing, but this mainly I am able to observe that either he is leisure or when that work when he doesn't want to do that work, he's showing that, madam.
So he wants to escape from the task, or
Yes, yes.
he is not. I mean, he has the skills, or he doesn't have the skills. That's why he wants to escape. Even that we need to know.
Correct, correct, madam.
So give him a meaningful activity, indulge him in meaningful activities, and when he is doing that activities, just motivate him. So we always focus on negatives. No, so now what we need to do is we have to focus on his positives. What are his positives?
Okay. I think he has very good memory, madam.
So you try to focus on that, and then when he is doing meaningful activity, he is not indulging in these activities. So give him meaningful activities. And supposing only mother is there with the child, take along with you. I mean, mother has to take the child along with her to the kitchen also. If she has to cook something, the child will be taken with the mother, and then he will be involved in her, helping her in some ways, like washing vegetables or picking up vegetables and giving to mother, instead of leaving him like that. And if any sensory issues are there, you can go for OT sessions.
Oh, okay. I mean, OT we have been taken for last before 2 years, madam. We stopped 2 years. I mean, last 2 years we have not going for sensory, madam. Only sensory in the sense these two things, like still the texture sensitivity is there, madam. Most of the time, the rice whenever he wants to, I mean, mix now, he can't mix it. But now slowly through practice he is coping up.
That's what. Introduce him very slowly, not directly. Don't force him to do that. See, if anyone forces us at this stage, are we able to take that? No.
Yeah, correct.
He is an independent child. I mean, he is a child. He too has some feelings. We need to understand that. If he is sensitive to that, slowly introduce and then slowly bring him to that level. But don't force him. Step by step, you introduce him to that.
Okay. But as you're saying that when the task will become simpler and meaningful, mostly there is a possibility that slowly the behavior can come down. No?
Yes. So give him meaningful activities. Mother may be not always with him, but give a meaningful activity, and then mother can do her activities observing the child.
That's what, ma'am. One of the main challenges with doing that independent task is the main challenge. I think right now I have to work a lot on that.
You introduce him, and then you have to break the task into small sessions. Like directly, he cannot do at a time. You have to do in a step-wise manner. Can you give one example? I mean, what you want to teach your child?
Ma'am, I've given some small tracings, madam, tracings, and he is able to do coloring. Some small portion of drawings, like drawing squares, triangles, rectangles, that he can able to do. But I am giving one sheet. In a sheet, I am giving some 4 types of shapes: square, circle, triangle. He is able to understand and is drawing. But while doing, most of the time he doesn't show interest, but he does that. So what am I lagging, madam? Am I making him more stress?
Because if you have to see, one thing is he interested in that particular activity, or are you forcing the child to do that?
Correct. But if I give him a liberty, madam, what is happening is when I have given liberty, most of the time he wants to escape, madam. I have seen some 2-3 days continuously. When I am giving more liberty, then what he is doing is he is manipulating. He is not.
No, instead of only this, you can choose some other activity which he is interested in.
Okay. Okay.
You might have observed some other things which is very much interested in. First, you try to connect with your child.
Okay.
Then build up that relationship, that strong bonding. Then slowly you can switch on to this thing.
Okay. Okay.
Madhavi ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, my name is Dipti ma'am. I have 11-year-old. He's got Kabuki syndrome. He's not autistic, but
Audio is not clear, ma'am.
then he's got
Hello.
Kabuki syndrome, and there are some common traits. Hi, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, now I can. Yeah.
Hi, can you hear?
Yeah, Deepthi, I'm here. I'm hearing you. Yeah, you
Okay,
can
so
tell.
I have 11-year-old. He's got Kabuki syndrome.
Okay. Deepthi?
Okay, so the thing I wanted to ask you, ma'am, was do they ever overcome sensory issues? Because he's extremely sensitive to smells. So then I try to give him a lot of aromatic candles, different smelling soaps, in order to desensitize it. So it kind of subsides for a bit, and then all of a sudden his urge increases to starts smelling again. So my question here is, do they ever overcome these sensory issues, or is it like always it just comes and goes, comes and goes?
It may come and go. We cannot completely say it will vanish. Yeah. But is it causing you problem? Is it a problem behavior, or that it's not causing any disruption to his daily activities or something? You can use it as a reinforcer. This particular
Okay.
you can use it as a reinforcer. He likes a lot, so you can use it as a reinforcer.
Okay, and also he has this habit of putting different textures in his mouth, and he's still not able to identify what he can eat and what, like he wants to taste the texture of everything. So how can I stop him from doing that?
Sensory issues. No. What you do is you give him sensory tasks and you prepare different type of food items for him to feel the texture. Not always the same texture. Different items which gives a different texture to the food. So sometimes sometimes cooked food like that.
Okay, so the urge for him to mouth everything is also a sensory issue, you're saying?
It's also sensory.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Hello.
Thanks a lot.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
It's Vishwas Saini, ma'am.
Yeah.
I have mentioned my queries in the chat box also. You can read it, please, ma'am.
Okay.
And my major concern is to regard that my 5 years old Anand Saini is a ASD candidate, and during outside roadside, he is not aware of any risk, and it is a major concerns for my aforementioned queries. So please help, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Actually, my kid is 8 years old, and he is active in every task. But the thing here is, writing is very slow and coping up very slowly. He accepts the things very slow. Everything is going slow, not up to the mark as of his age.
Okay. What is his IQ? Did you go for this test? IQ intelligence?
IQ is okay. IQ is okay.
How much?
I think we went to a psychiatrist. He told that everything is okay with IQ. He is having a problem with behavioral approach.
Okay.
So behavior means he doesn't accept the new things.
Okay, sameness. He is into sameness. Okay. Yeah.
And he don't love the food. He don't like the food. Whatever the food is, junk food, regular food, whatever, he absolutely hates the food. We are giving
Okay.
very forcefully, and few times I have tried this one also, that I didn't give the food for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours.
Hmm.
Then also I didn't ask for food. We forced
Okay.
very much and warned him that we will put you in a dark room so that you have to eat for this for sure. Then he started eating, but he is not eating likely. Yes, I have to eat. It will give me energy. We are giving.
Okay. So he doesn't like to have food.
Yeah. And another one more thing here is handwriting.
Okay. Can I answer you all these questions in a mail? Because
Sure,
we are
ma'am.
running out of time. So we have given our mail ID. Can you please post all your queries to that so that I will reply you in detail what has to
Sure,
be
sure.
done? Yeah. Sorry
Sure.
for that. We are
Thank
running
you
out
so
of
much, ma'am.
You're welcome. You please put your queries on this mail ID. I will
Sure,
reply.
ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, Vishwas again, ma'am. If you can
Yeah.
answer one thing. Hello.
1 minute, Vishwas. I was going through this and then, yes.
I just switch off my mic because some other person is going there now. Meanwhile, I think you can easily go on my chat box.
So you have posted 4, 5 questions, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, and one more is about risk awareness. My son is not having any risk awareness during. Sometimes he jump on the gallery walls also, and on roadside some car or motorcycle is coming, and he is not aware of that. So risk
And
awareness is a concern.
sensors also are there because he's jumping a lot. You need to go for OT, and along with that, okay. He lacks fear of danger. That's what
Yes.
he lacks danger. I mean, he doesn't have that fear at all.
Yes,
Only
ma'am.
that
Yes.
is.
No, apart from he is under some observation, autistic clinic he is attending right now, and
Are you
their
going for
behavior. Yeah, we are going, ma'am.
But you please continue with OT, and then I will send you a mail with few activities which you can practice at home. I'll send you a mail. You please
Yes, ma'am.
write to the mail ID. I will give you few techniques on how to work with that. I'll give you in detail.
Yes, ma'am. Here is my email ID. You can get it, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Anil.
Hello, ma'am.
I'm a 2-year-old daughter. Her problem is like she's into TV a lot. Like she's into rhymes, and she's been going through ABA therapy. Due to this lockdown, she's not having the therapy for the past 2-3 weeks. From that time, she's being very hyper, and she's not even having food without TV. I mean, if we switch off the TV, she's not even eating.
What if you can indulge your child in some activities, meaningful activities? So this TV will be only for half an hour. I told you to make a schedule right for the whole day. So you will be making a schedule what you will do in each and every. I mean, like time wise. Like morning you get up at 7 o'clock, 7 to 7:30, fresh up, milk, everything. So after that, like that, you have to schedule your time and you have to stick on to the timetable. And then this particular TV watching will be only for half an hour or 1 hour. It's not like continuous. Even you have to follow that, not only the child. If you ask the child not to see it, to start seeing, it will not help.
Yeah, ma'am. The problem. One more thing is like she's during that the session when the session she was very attentive. But once she left the sessions, I mean, once the lockdown started, she started behaving like, very hyper. She's running like saying it
Yeah,
once.
following the schedule. What happens when we go to sessions is we have a schedule. We have to wake up at this time, we have to do our work, we have to take the child to work, and she is always given some activity or the other. She is not left alone like that. Maybe that schedule got disrupted. Now you follow all these steps which I was talking.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello?
Hello, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hello,
Hello?
ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, is it audible?
Yeah, it's all audible.
Yeah, ma'am. My son is 3.5 years old. Actually, he has mild autism. His cognitive skills is very low, ma'am. He's not at all interested in putting pegboards or seeing his flashcards or books or anything.
Huh.
Uh,
See, 3.5-year-old child,
okay.
he will be like, see a normal child, he will be very much interested in play, right? So start,
Okay.
is he interested in particular toys or something? Can you
No,
recollect?
ma'am. I have seen I have used some reinforcements like I am saying this, wow, good job, and all. I used to give him lollipop. If you put this pepper, I used to give him lollipop and all. I tried all those things. He does that because he likes that lollipop. It's not a mandatory thing for lollipop to him. If I don't give him also, he's okay. It's not that he's craving for lollipop. If he craves for lollipop, then I can use it as a reinforcement. But
Because that
nothing.
pegboard maybe is not interesting, it's not stimulating him. So we have to see what are the interests in your child.
Yeah, ma'am, that's what. Kindly help me out. Like, see, if I make him draw, if I give him crayons also, he's not interested in drawing crayons.
Does he have any sensory issues? How are his fine motor and gross motor skills? So when we
gross
want
motor is
to draw, he has to have all these skills, right? Fine motor skills, gross motor skills. He has to hold the pencil and then draw. So first we need to develop his attention concentration, cognitive abilities, sitting tolerance, all these. After this only comes that drawing, sitting in one place and drawing. So first you
see,
see
coming to
at what level he is. He may be 3.5 years.
Yeah, he's trained up. He's able to follow some of the instructions. Come, let us wear sandals. Let us go out. If I say he'll come out with me and he'll wear sandals. If I say come, we are going to have bath, he'll come to the washroom. Give me some glass. Like that. He's following some general instructions.
Okay.
But coming to this academic or cognitive part, whatever it is, he's not at all interested in this. We can clearly able to understand that. Because even because coming to gross motor skills also, he is okay. Apart from singing activity, he has done all the things on his own by the age of 3 years only.
Okay. Is
Fine motor also.
Can he at least communicate few of his needs? Is he verbal or non-verbal?
Non-verbal, ma'am. He doesn't point out as something like that. But if he want water, he'll come up with a glass to me. He'll show a glass and he'll come up with. If he is hungry, he keeps crying. By the time I'll say, okay, he's crying. He wants to have food now. That's the reason he's crying. But if
he brought a glass to you saying that he wants milk, that is a part of communication. Maybe not verbal. Yeah.
Only the part of having water only he'll do that communication, and remaining other things he'll not communicate. According to the time only I'll feed him and all.
That's what I told. No, create a need for him to communicate. Like water, if he needs, he's coming. The same way, feeding also, you just wait for some time. Give him a chance to come and interact with you like he's communicating for water.
Yeah, actually, when I have extended my lunch, I have extended his lunch timings, ma'am. Then whenever I am eating, he's coming to me and he's mouthing it.
So that is also he's doing. So you do a lot of modeling at home. You ask your other family members to give you food, and then you will be getting the food, and you ask the other family members to ask for food. Do a lot of modeling, where he will understand slowly. But he is only 3.5 years. Present chronological age is 3.5 years. So we have to see what is his mental age at this point of time. If he is only 2.5 years, if he has only 2.5 years mental age, then do you expect 2 years child to come do all those activities which you are doing, which you are asking him to do? So first, try to connect with him with play therapy, like use different type of plays, make it a playful way. So if he is not showing interest, you start doing that.
Okay.
A different way, like singing rhymes, you can start singing rhymes and you start doing that activity. Sit in a place and then you start doing that. Maybe after some time that he will come and start imitating your action. Just try to, you level. That's what I was telling you. Go to that 2.5, 3 years old level. What a 2.5, 3 years old boy does. You start doing that. Don't think that I am 25 years, 30 years, I cannot go to that age. You have to become a child as it is. Then only you just think you are a child. And you do what a child does, a child of 3 years do. You try to imitate that. Then slowly you can connect with the child. Once you get that connection and relationship, then everything is easy for us. Just try to connect and relate with the child. Follow the child's initiative. Whatever his showing interest, you start with that. Then you will get connection. Then slowly start doing, and then slowly bring it
Okay. So basically, both AB and OT is required for metadoma, apart from speech.
Yeah, speech. Maybe OT and all that. And if you have any doubts, please mail to the mail ID so that we can give you the answers.
Okay, fine. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Can we wind up, Priyanka? Okay, then thank you all for this webinar. I think it is little informative for you. Next time we'll come up with a different topic. Thank you all.
Ahí